tell you about the coolest product, the hottest fucking awesome thing that we all need. Our corporate state spends billions every year to sell it to us. More money is spent to sell it to us than iPhones and Geico combined, and it always sells. It always sells. They tell us we have to have it, otherwise we won't be safe, we won't be happy. It'll be awful if we don't have this one thing. Introducing war! The always exciting, never dull bombing of other countries. Often for reasons we don't understand, often for reasons we don't even know. Why have boring peace and quiet when you can bomb shit now? Get your war today. Okay, I'm gonna stop doing that because I'm creeping myself out. Right now, we're at war in multiple countries. We've been at war like basically my entire adult life. We've been bombing someone. I think we took like a break in 2009 for like a week. But that's it. Under Obama, our bombing has killed thousands of innocent civilians. Not only is it the countries we're bombing, but we're also supplying weaponry to countries like Saudi Arabia so they can bomb the shit out of Yemen. With only a very few exceptions, wars are imperial in nature. Sure, the corporate media will sell it to us as protecting us, as bringing democracy to blah, blah, blah. But we all know it's about resources and it's about power. A major university study showed that our intervention in civil wars is far more likely in oil-rich nations. How much more likely? 100 times more likely. That's like all of the times more likely. That's like the amount more likely that a Cambridge physicist is to discover the origin of dark matter than Sarah Palin is. Look at it this way. We are children. We are fucking children. We need to stop thinking of ourselves as rational adults. Children get into schoolyard fights for basically two reasons. Either to prove or defend their reputation, their honor, or to steal the other kid's lunch money. They never do it to bring democracy to the other kids. The bullies never go, you know those nerds over there, the mama's boys over there? They're living under an oppressive teacher. They are, and she doesn't respect human rights. So I gotta go in. We gotta go in. That's not a thing. Just look at the words of Marine Corps Major General Smedley Butler, the most decorated Marine in U.S. history during his life. Because with a name like Smedley, you better learn to kick some ass. I'm gonna name my boy Daisy McPeewee Pants, just so he can be an ultimate fighter. General Butler said, "I spent 33 years in the military. In short, I was a racketeer, a gangster for capitalism. I helped make Mexico safe for American oil interests in 1914. I helped make Haiti and Cuba a decent place for the National City Bank boys to collect revenues in. I helped in the raping of a half-dozen Central American republics for the benefit of Wall Street. I brought light to the Dominican Republic for the American sugar interest in 1916. I might have given Al Capone a few hints. The best he could do was operate his racket in 3 districts. I operated in 3 continents." Yeah, so when you're watching these caged monkey fights, presidential debates, and you hear the presidential or vice presidential candidates argue about who will drop the most bombs? Who will protect us from terrorism by blowing up the most people? Remember that it is almost never done to help average Americans. It's done to grow the corporation, to make it bigger. As Peter Joseph said, America is in truth a corporation in function and form. Most war is perpetrated for the benefit of the elites. Then the corporate media is given the task of selling us, selling the country, on delivering our sons and daughters into the jaws of war, the jaws of death and destruction. And we don't only use traditional force to grow the corporation. Much like a dominatrix, we have many tools to make the victim hurt so good. We also use economic force as one of our tools. And by the way, if your dominatrix pulls out economic force on you, that's scary. That's, oh man. Nothing gets me to say my safe word quicker than when Sheba says she's gonna ruin my credit. She's like, I'm gonna take out a subprime mortgage in your name. I'm like, no, porcupine, 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 chicken noodle soup. She's like, I just invested all your money in Radio Shack. I said porcupine. Jesus Christ. Look, when it's all laid out, we should be against nearly all wars and all bombing. But taking that stance it's not always popular. There's a lot of social stigma with being against war. But, I've thought this out. Who gives a shit? Until we stand up for a culture of peace, we will live in a culture of war. Coming to you from Washington, D.C., the belly of the beast, this is Redacted Tonight.